Good evening, folks. It's Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, I want to go over the meeting at the zoning board meeting at City Hall. Excuse me, it's a little late tonight, but I wanted to come on and just talk about that because it was it was live. It was definitely live, and I'm happy to see people coming out. So join me for that.
Freddy wins. Freddy wins.
Freddy Vazquez. Again, this is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Monday night. I know it's a little late, but I wanted to come on. I wanted to talk about this meeting tonight because it's important, and it was a little live. You know, a lot of people came out to voice their concerns over some developments that are going up here in the city of Yonkers. And let's talk about it. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. First, I want to tell you who's on the board, right? Who is on the board, the zoning board here in the city of Yonkers? Well, the CEO is CEO. Well, she is the CEO of Municipal Housing, Wilson Kimball, but she is now currently the chair. And I could tell she doesn't like me. I could totally tell she don't like me. And I didn't want to ever start out not liking her. But first of all, I want to say, I got a ticket. I came out after we were all leaving, people leaving, and I'm the only car that in the lot that got a ticket. I'm the only one. Even a guy that I know who was parked illegally. He was parked in a space he wasn't supposed to be parked in. He was there the whole time. He didn't get a ticket, but I got a ticket. I don't know. Well, anyway, folks, tonight, a lot of people came out in regards to 144 Woodworth Avenue. That's where developers are proposing to put not one, but two 32-story towers that will block a lot of people's views. It will cut a lot of the sunlight coming in and down to the street and onto certain people's homes who once enjoyed the beautiful, majestic Palisade Mountains, the view there of the Hudson River. And they've paid a lot of money for these homes, you know. And I met one lady in particular who recently bought a home there and had renovated, and it's very beautiful. And she enjoys some amazing views. But if this plan goes through, when she looks out the window, she will be seeing a glass 32-story building or towers or twin towers, as one resident called them at the meeting today. She said, these are twin towers. Some people described them as a monstrosity. A monstrosity. They did not belong in the community. They didn't fit in the neighborhood. The road was just too narrow. And it is. If you know Woodworth, it's, you know, a two-way street at the very beginning, close to Ashburn, but then it becomes a one-way street. And it's very narrow to begin with. And so where would all this traffic for almost 700 units, 700 units to be developed there if this is approved? Well, where will these people go? And they will build the same amount of space just about, because the luxuries all get a parking space per unit, unlike the affordable housing, which may get 50% parking spaces, right? And so that's leaving people to have to park out in the street, causing more of a problem for parking. So that's another topic, story or whatever. I'll get into that in a second. But if you're not familiar with the zoning board, let me tell you what they do, who they are. The Zoning Board of Appeals, they basically, you know, you go before them. I have a project. This is what I want to do. However, it's 32 stories. It's a lot taller than what's allowed, but we want to do it anyway. We don't have much space there, so we want the setbacks, you know, to be less than what they are required to be. We don't have any yard, right? We want all these amendments, all these changes to the zoning laws for that area so we can build this project that the people that live there don't want. Ain't that something? The board members, again, chairperson, Madam Chairperson Wilson Kimball, whose husband James Kavanaugh liked my post on Nextdoor app. And I'm going to post that. and it's in regards to the zoning board. James, is that sarcasm on your behalf? I like it. Board members include Harry Singh, who is a gentleman. I will say that. Harry Singh is a perfect gentleman. I don't have anything bad to say about Harry Singh. Hector Lopez. I don't have anything bad to say about Hector Lopez either, but he is Lorraine Lopez's brother. They've been connected to politics for a very long time. Why he's there, don't know. Ralph Batista Jr., I don't know the gentleman. Jean Tickle. Jean Tickle is a socialite. Her grandfather was a big-time realtor, or a real estate investor, I should say. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he owns 1080 Warburton, that building that Michael Sabatino bought an apartment about 2 years ago in, after I believe they sold their home over there near Lake Avenue. Anthony Jalaj is the young son of the guy who owns 470 Nepperhan Avenue, CNA Realty. His father's a real estate investor. The kid is 20-some years old. He replaced one of the individuals that was removed without being told. How disrespectful is that? And why would you do that? Why would you remove someone without notifying them after 30 years? You simply replace them. You have a meeting that's being broadcast live so they can watch themselves be replaced. That's how they found out. But officially, they were notified 3 months later with a letter in the mail saying, thank you. We no longer need your services after 30 years because you're not going along with the program. You're not approving all these zoning changes that we need you to approve. And so we replaced you with a 20-something-year-old kid. How do you like that? And I want the people that I met today to understand why I say the things I say in the manner that I do. You know, it bothers me to see people, very nice people, beautiful, lovely ladies, elderly women, going up there speaking about how they just don't want this. They love Yonkers. They've been here all their lives, and this is completely changing the fabric of our community. And there you have the zoning board not giving a you-know-what. Some of them are on their cell phones. Wilson Kimball, I got her, doing a lot of time stuff. Not even paying any respect to these women who are talking, to members of the community who are being affected and have concerns. She was not even paying attention a lot of times. And you can see her face. She was just tired of it, rolling her eyes. You know, that bothers me. That bothers me. I'm sorry, it does. It bothers me because it's so disrespectful. You know, I've seen this so many times. People who have money, they have a position, they hire up, they think they're better than people, and they don't care what they have to say. They disregard them completely. And I just didn't like that. And the people were being very respectful. They're saying, you know, I appreciate you guys coming here to volunteer time. I know you're working hard, and I know you're trying, but they're not. I'm sorry, they're not. They don't care. That's the reality. So I just want you to understand that. I want you to understand that they're not hearing you. They did everything that you're concerned about or complaining about on purpose. Like the fact you weren't notified. Why do you think you weren't notified? Why do you think you're just finding out about it now? Do you think that was an accident? No, they rush things. They do that on purpose. They don't want people to come out. They don't want to hear you. The developers that were there said, wait a minute, this is what they said when someone wanted to speak. I thought we weren't going to have comments from the people. So they had agreed that there were going to be no comments from the residents. The developers just get to say, hey, we don't want to hear the people. But Wilson, knowing that people were watching, including Freddy Vazquez, told him, no, they have to speak. They have a right to speak. That's right. But we didn't have a right to ask questions. She completely ignored mine. They wanted to hire a consultant for this project, a private project, to assist in understanding and figuring things out for the next meeting. So who's going to pay for this, Wilson? She completely ignored me. But you know who didn't ignore me? Harry Singh. He even said to her, he asked a question. She said, I'm not taking questions, only comments. But this is an issue because this is in the Mike Cater lawsuit. It happened in Ludlow. Who paid for the study? These developers are the ones making money, not the people of Yonkers. So why are the taxpayers funding the studies for these developers? Why are the taxpayers funding consultants for these developers? The people don't want them there. The people are not benefiting in any shape, form, or fashion. Yet they have to foot the bill for the consultant, Wilson? They don't care. And I want people to get that through, clearly. They do not care. They have this plan and they're going through the motions with you. And that bothers me. So we have to come out, become vocal. So shout out to the people that came and spoke. I appreciate you folks doing that because we need to be doing that. And to the person from Community Voices Heard, I don't understand what your issue was. She turned around and said to me, I'm not part of any community groups or organizations. No, I'm not, except the one that matters the most, the actual community. That's the group that I belong to, Community Voices Heard, because I don't hear much of your guys' voices. All right? So the politics stuff, please. I'm in the community. I'm speaking to the people every day. I'm out there, and I know who I don't see out there. So please, have some respect for each other. I think we're on the same side. I think. And I get it. You guys are supporting Corazon. I get it. But maybe you guys don't. And that's the problem. We have to understand what's actually happening here. Otherwise, they're going to do whatever they want because they don't think we're smart enough to know. Don't you get that? That's the point. They don't care. They just don't care. Why is someone in their 20s serving on one of the two most important boards in this city? I wish I had the answer to that, Joan. But I know that 20-something-year-old kid replaced a veteran, a 30-plus years of service from a guy who had experience, knowledge in planning, in zoning, in city development, but he didn't go along with it because he was educated, because he understood the ramifications, the consequences of many of these developments, and he said they were not good for the area, so they got rid of him. Wilson Kimbo. This is not from my mouth. This is not from my own opinion. This is what I was told. And, sometimes you guys just do not know some of the information I do. I need you to trust me just a little bit. That's the reason why I'm the only one that got a ticket. You have to trust me just a little bit. And so I spoke about this project, remember the other day, in terms of the 32 towers, story towers we can actually call them the Yonkers Twin Towers, right? They're the Twin Towers of Yonkers now. And I mentioned that. That was a big deal, and people are concerned with that. But people are organizing. And shout out to the people on Nextdoor app. I didn't even see that. I got so many comments on the one that James Kavanaugh liked, and people are concerned. They're saying, who do we write to? Well, I said, your council member is one, first place you go, I guess, right? And I listed off all the council members from the different districts for the folks. I said, the planning board, the zoning board, the mayor's office, everyone gets a letter. Everyone gets an email. And they don't like what I'm doing. Look, I just got a thank you from Miguel on Nextdoor app. Folks, this is why I do this. We must know the truth, what's really happening. Think about all these developments going up, the amount of people that are going to be here in the city of Yonkers, specifically in the downtown area. And now we're facing possible violation of the 1980s court ruling, right? It seems like there's some the segregation happening here. What is it? All the wealthy folks, the affluent people are going to be all along the water, the riverfront. They're going to have the best views, the best, property in the city. All while all of those who need low income and affordable housing are going to be corralled in a 1 square mile, 2 square mile area in between the north and east side, and maybe even pushed over to the east side because, as you can see, they want to change the zoning laws in the single family zoned areas. Why? Because they want to build buildings on the east side. It's going to happen. Everyone's being impacted. And so we must come together. This is the time that we all must come together. Economic background, color of our skin, side of town means nothing. We're all going to face this traffic, horrendous overdevelopment and overcrowding. Our schools are not being improved. Some people have valid concerns. What about the schools? They're already overcrowded. And now this development here, the 32-story, 2 towers, they're going to put a bunch of 3 bedrooms, which is good because we need 3 bedrooms. They haven't been building those. But that means that we're going to have a lot more kids. And what about the affordable housing that they're building, that they're limiting the parking on, as if people who have affordable housing needs don't have a car? Shit, excuse my language. Some of them have better cars than those who are owning homes. This is a different era. People have multiple cars now. And so those folks who live there, who have multiple cars or didn't get a spot, will have to now park on the street, competing with the folks that already lived there. And so it's going to be a mess. So we must be very thoughtful in how we think about this, because we may not see the logistics of it all and just say, hey, we love to have things beautified. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we want the parks to be renovated. But how do we go about doing that? That's what we have to think about. Are we going about it the right way? Someone said, who said they're going to put 22 and 24 studios? I said, the mayor. The mayor. You didn't know that? The mayor said that. People don't even know. That was one of the biggest, and it's the most prominent concern folks have. The complaint, I should say, that they have is that they did not know. They weren't made aware. How can you go about this and move forward and get to this point in this process and we didn't even know about it? Who's responsible for telling the people? Who's responsible for notifying the community that's about to change dramatically, drastically? Well, why? Your city council members. You think they come to you and say, hey, my beautiful constituents, these developers are proposing this. I want to know your take on it. No, they don't do that. They're all in on it. They're all in on it. Some of them are making money outside of their salary. Some of them may have companies that service some of the needs of these developers because they know they're going to need those services. So I'm going to be the one to provide it. Some of these elected officials I hear have title agency, title recording companies. Though, doing all these transactions in real estate here, that's big money. And real estate licenses some of them have. Some of them are real estate investor, hopefuls. So they're in on it, folks. And I'm not trying to be conspiratorial, aggressive, or any other way, just to be honest. I'm being honest. I'm the only one, I think, that maybe, and I'm saying the only ones, but I'm one of the few that's being honest about what's happening. Completely honest. And that's all I'm doing. You haven't even seen half of it yet. What is it going to look like when we have the 22 and 24 studios built and all of the developments are up? How is Yonkers going to look? Will you even be here? Can you even afford it? And you know what they're doing to some folks, and I feel bad, and this is why I get a little bit upset, or maybe a lot. They're abusing folks who don't know any better. I know a guy who sold his house for $500,000 on Warburton to the Lionsgate people, Joe Cotter. I looked at the home and the lot and I said, They robbed you. That was easily worth $800,000. And then he got half up front. They mortgaged the other half. Guess where the man lives now? In an apartment on Elm Street. He went from owning a home with a decent sized lot where he had enough space to rent out parking spaces in it. Multi-family house. And so I met someone today who told me a similar story of some Hispanic women. Hear this to my Latinos and Latin organizations, because both of these individuals are Hispanics. These women sold her house for below market value. She's now renting a room because she could not afford to buy another house. They're not paying them enough to go and buy another house. So the prices of homes are going up. So these people are selling their homes at below market because they're being squeezed, threatened, forced to sell quickly. They don't do it to everyone. So don't tell me that didn't happen to me. I got a good price because you're savvy. You know, so you're lucky. Can't generalize. And so people are going from being homeowners to renters. And this is what I'm saying about the seniors and why they're pushing for senior developments so the seniors could sell their homes. As John Rubel will tell you, all the seniors in his district want to downsize. You got to see what's happening. You have to understand that Wilson Kimball, who is the chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals, is also the CEO of Municipal Housing Authority of the City of Yonkers, whose husband is James Kavanaugh, the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency's president, who's also a lobbyist and partner with Nick Spano at Empire Strategic Planning, a lobbying firm that has contracts with many of these developers doing these developments. And they don't like me to say that. And it could cause me a lot of problems, and it has. But I'm going to say it anyway, because it needs to be said. What you do with it is what you do with it. And so that's the problem. And so until we address that, we say this is what's wrong, the corruption, this tangled web that's been weaved, this network, this nepotism system, this tight circle of individuals who profit from what's happening now. Until you address that, you cannot make any change. You will not see any change. And that's the bottom line. We need to preserve the environment and the character of the community and not give a blank check to real estate to destroy parks and historic areas. That's exactly right. Right? We needed to bring in jobs and yes, develop and beautify it, but how do we do that? These developments are not providing jobs to people here in the community, but they're getting tax breaks. They're getting a lot of the city land. So there's no benefit for the people. Like, these elected officials have yet to give you folks one true tangible benefit. They haven't listed one. Nothing. They tell you things that are not going to impact you, but people eat it up. What have they told you that will truly benefit you? Really? I mean, the majority of the people in Yonkers, what? What have you been seeing happen? Crimes going up. Did you see the MSN article I posted? We made national news again. We have this record high robbery, store thefts. This one city in Westchester, Yonkers, New York, seeing an unprecedented rise in store thefts. That's what we're known for. And also the guy that was going to do something to the mayor, according to the mayor. Not according to him, because what I saw him say was the police and all the rats in Valhalla. I didn't see the mayor. People don't realize how important this board is. In many instances, the Central Park Avenue Chick-fil-A, the zoning board is the lead agency, which means the city council actually takes a back seat. Extremely powerful board, yeah. And is headed by Wilson Kimball, a very strong, powerful woman who takes no crap. I could see it all in her face. She takes no crap. Remember, she was investigated along with her husband, James Kavanaugh, who's at the YIDA, by the New York State Inspector General. They hate me to say this too. But why? Corruption, misappropriation of funds back then. So they skipped town and came to Yonkers. But James Kavanaugh has a long history with Nick Spano going back up to Albany. He started out with him as his communications director. So that's what's happening here. Sam Borelli, I saw him there today. He was laughing it up. I ain't never seen that man so giggly with all the marked realty guys. I saw you, Simon. Why don't you come over and say hi? You know me, right? You do. We spoke many times. All the marked realty guys. I mean, they literally walked up to the, wherever the side bench area where he was sitting with Matt Gallagher, and they were all laughing it up. Well, I didn't get that same treatment. Sam, why did my wife get that same treatment? Why did you make my wife feel to the point where she had to, tear up and leave the room because she was, in tears? Where your staff have to come and give her tissue and said they're sorry for that. Because I hear, as Tasha Diaz, remember this?
Illusion.
This is Tasha Diaz.
I know you have a lot of women that work in your office. And I was also told that you favor some over others. I'm hoping that this is not true, Sammy.
She's talking about Sam Borelli. I don't make things up. I'm not a liar. It's not fake. I don't do that stuff. That's why politics for me, I don't know if that's my thing. It's just about fakeness. I'll give it to you real. Steve Squig, Mr. $207,000 a year. Yeah, over $100,000 over base salary, right? Why? Is it because he's the mayor's nephew? It's nepotism, right? But, the Yonkers is going to change a lot. So I'm glad that people were out there. It's good to see people coming out and talking, about, voicing their concerns, voicing their complaints. More people need to come out. I see that there's a lot more people. I'm seeing it on Nextdoor app. I'm seeing it on Facebook. A lot of people just don't really know what's happening until it's too late. And I spoke there. My phone died, so I couldn't show the rest of it. I wish I could have, because it really got, pretty good toward the end. But I spoke and I just said, how do you communicate what's happening to the people, right? Because what I'm hearing, the consensus in the complaint is that they're not notified. Whether it's this term limit thing, where there's these developments that are happening, they're just not being notified, or the district maps, they don't have enough time. Everyone's saying that. So how are they communicating? Is it through the elected officials? Is that what they're supposed to have town halls? They're supposed to come out and say, hey, my constituents, this is what's going to happen. Let's talk about it. But people just don't know until it's too late. So I wanted to understand that, and I said that. I said, you guys do that on purpose. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to be saying, oh, I respect you guys for taking your time. You're here for a reason. Okay, you're here for a benefit. You're not being, so gracious with your time that you want to give to this community, because none of you are ever in the community. Wilson Kimball's not from Yonkers. She showed up in 2000 after that investigation, 2011, 2012 to Yonkers. And now you're changing up all of Yonkers because she's approving all these zoning changes and all these projects. So we have to come out to the people on Nextdoor app that I invited to come on Facebook and YouTube to watch the podcast. And if you manage to make it here, hopefully, those who said, how do we, organize? Some people ask me, are there groups that are organizing? So others have asked me who to email or who to write to. Let's organize. I want to organize. So you can email me. We have to do this together. I mean, there's a lot of like-minded people. A lot of us feel strongly about this. So we have to organize at this point. It has to get to that point. So you want to reach out to me, info@freddyformayor.com. Let's organize. Let's actually start to speak out, because the thing that makes the difference is when we speak out, when we come out, when we voice our, whatever's on our mind together, united. and weed out the people that we know are not for us, because there's some people that are there that are pretenders, that are not really all the way for us. There are people that have sold out the community. You know, people are starting to see that. So, you know, we have to get together, unite. We have to, you know, come out and speak out. And we have to attend these meetings. And I was there from 6 o'clock. I didn't leave till after 9 o'clock. And I was starving. I went to McDonald's. I was so hungry, you know. But this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. It's what I'm saying. I'm going to do this. Let's do it together. This is what we got to do. You know, they tell everyone after the fact, yeah, when it's too late to do anything about it. That's the goal, right? Well, what are you going to do at this point, right? That's the goal. And so now you have to find some, you know, some kind of, you know, way to accept it, right? And then they try to give you something. And you know, that's what I'm saying. I'm telling people that they are doing this on purpose. So don't go there saying, I appreciate you volunteering. One woman said, or a person said, you know, I want to touch your hearts. You know, listen, from what I've been told, Wilson Kimball don't have a heart. Okay. And I'm just being honest. This is what people told me. It's what a lot of people have said. And so we can't be like that. I'm not saying be disrespectful. I'm not saying go up there and start cursing at them. What I'm saying is go up there understanding that they're not for you. They're not really there to listen to you. They're just going through the motions. They have to do that. But they don't care. They've already have it set in their mind. So we understand that, then we can go about it a different way. Right, and be more firm and be more tougher and say, no, we're going to protest. We're not going to stand for this. We're not going to reelect you. Mayor, you want to get reelected because you're pushing all this, right? You got everyone in the pocket and they're voting. All the council members are voting yes for all this. Adopt it 7-0. Adopt it 7-0. They're the check and balance. There can't be 7-0 all the time. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Especially when so many people are in opposition, right? So many people in the community. It just doesn't make sense, you know? So we have to, we have to think about this. Let's go. That's right. Let's go. I'm signing petitions. I just got 7 brought into me today, filled. So shout out to the team that's working hard, right? Because I got like several companies to run. Again, I'm not a house husband, Brian. I wish. The problem is that many people who actually move into these transit-oriented developments will pretty much just sleep here, commute to their jobs, and not really assimilate into Yonkers community. They lower the parking requirements, and if you don't have a car, you don't really want to be a part of the city. This is not NYC where you use MTA, et cetera. Exactly, and that was another one of the complaints people were saying. Right? These folks that are coming here are just sleeping here. They're not assimilating. They're not integrating into the community. They're not becoming a part of the fabric of this community, right? And I'm not trying to be negative towards them. I'm just saying, they're doing their thing and they don't care. But they are impacting the people that do, right? Negatively. And you're right. They don't, I see the questions on like Twitter and stuff. I'm moving to Yonkers. I'm coming from Brooklyn. I'm coming from the Bronx. So I'm coming from Queens. Do I need a car over there? How's the neighborhood over there? This, that, and the third. I think they got ads outside of Yonkers. I really believe that they do. And I've seen this before, right? Where there'll be ads of communities come, say, hey, we're building this, come over and to this, there's jobs and there's this. So I could imagine that there's probably ads outside of Yonkers being placed about this Hollywood on the Hudson in this place called Yonkers. And you got people come. When I was out petitioning the other day, this guy came up to me and said, yo, man, what are you running for? I told him, he said, oh man, I'm a Democrat. I'm gonna vote for you. I said, all right, cool. You're a registered Democrat? He's like, yeah. Like, cool. Well, I said, what's your address? He said, I'm in Brooklyn. I said, oh, Brooklyn. I said, no, you have to be Brooklyn. He goes, no, but I'm a Democrat. I said, I know, but you have to. He goes, but I'm moving here. I said, well, when you move here and you register here, then we're good to go, right? This is what this, and I was in an Uber not too long ago where the guy had just moved here from Brooklyn. So we're getting a lot of people coming here. But in the last 2 days, I will say that about 3 people that had just moved here to Yonkers from outside the Bronx and Brooklyn, been here 1.5 to 2 years, they said they're leaving. They said, I can't deal with this. I'm out of here. Right? It was 1 black woman and 2 white people, right? That just to give you who they were, right? And I was out there petitioning, and they said, I'm leaving. I don't like it. One person said, I came here, when they first started to build, but now it's becoming too much. Even the people that came here from the city saying it's becoming too much because they were trying to escape that. Right? They will actually, and in Yonkers, you don't need to have as many buildings as New York City to feel like you're as crowded as New York City. Just go down to the downtown area, and you'll see. You'll see what I'm saying. Let's say it flat out. Steve, what are you talking about, Steve? We're talking about developments. Does Steve got anything to do with these developments? Yeah, right, you Steve been getting into it or something on the side over there? I don't know. Is Steve the reason why? So I'm over here trying to, do this, folks, so I can bring you the information. I'm getting up out of here. I just want to talk about that and let you know how important it is to come out and be heard, right? It's important to come out and be heard. It's also important for you to be aware of what's happening, right? So make sure you tune in and you share this podcast with other people. I'm trying to make it both informative and engaging. It's, it's a little tricky balance because there's people that like me to talk about the crazy nonsense stuff, and that's fun sometimes, right? But I want to make sure people are informed. So I try to bring details and, and there are people that appreciate that, right? They just want to see that. And some people have said flat out, that's the boring stuff, but that's the important stuff. The information is the important stuff, right? That's really why I do this. I'm not looking to be an entertainer, right? I'm looking to be an informer, right? An informer to you folks and to that BI. What you guys got, right? FBI, I'm just kidding. But they are out there, folks. They are definitely out there. I mean, this zoning stuff is becoming apparent. And I think that people don't have hope that, the FBI, everybody's bought up. That is true. But what happens is that when people want to take, over or want to take out a certain, individuals or group of individuals because it's just their time to go, right? It may not change it. It may just put another set of people in place, but it's their time to go. They're making it hot. A lot of people are shouting them out. Let's replace them with somebody, right? And so that's what they do. And so we'll see that happen all the time. So that's why you see people get arrested. Then, somebody else will be there or somebody will resign, somebody else will go in, but nothing to change, right? Because that's just how our corrupt system works. Check out Mike Gill if you're interested in political corruption and how it works, especially on a national level. Did you know that New Hampshire is ground zero for fentanyl distribution here in the United States? That's right. New Hampshire, the state of New Hampshire is ground zero for the fentanyl being distributed throughout the country. That's right. Right. And so that is because it is one of the most corrupt states, politically corrupt states in the country. And so therefore, these corrupt politicians protect the cartels. This is very real stuff, folks. And a lot of people are waking up, which is why I'm really happy about it, because 5-10 years ago, you didn't hear this chatter among people about the corruption and everything that's going on. And now you're seeing it or hearing it more from people. It's becoming more mainstream because it's very real. Corruption is very real. And if you see how it is here in Yonkers, just imagine how it is on a national level when you're talking about billions of dollars. So we must do our homework and inform ourselves, because if we allow ourselves to be informed by just anyone, right? And even when I say stuff, check me, right? Fact check me, I say, but make sure you research yourself, right? So anyway, folks, I'm Freddy Vazquez. To the people that met today, reach out to me, please. I'm going to reach out to you. Let's get together. Let's organize. We have to be more vocal, but I am happy to see that there's people out there. And I met somebody that, she's like, I don't care. We need to speak out. I'm ready to do this, that, and the third. And I love that energy. So anyway, folks, thank you for watching. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Have a beautiful, blessed rest of the night. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Hump day. Have a happy hump day. And see what happens. And by the way, folks, I'm with that whole Macy thing. You saw me going to Macy. I went there because this guy is just, and I don't know if a lot of people are even paying attention to this guy, Brian, but it's just, it bothers me. My wife has to, know that that's out there. This guy's just saying all these crazy things about my wife and me and my kids and all that stuff. And it's just horrible. And it's horrible that, they know that that's happening. It's coming from certain individuals within our city government. They pay these guys, and so, me talking about this, that's going to come with the territory, and it's fine. You attack me, right? But, my wife, she works at the school. She's a school administrator, a woman, a black woman. There are very few black women, school administrators, especially one that are as great as my wife. She does an amazing job. And other people will tell you that, right? And she's a very smart woman, person, and she didn't marry no crazy guy, that's for sure. We've been doing this together since 1998. Me and that woman, since 1998, we've been going strong. And so, uh, whatever this guy is saying, and whoever's putting him up to it, it's just very disgusting. Come for me, cool, I'll take it all day. But to come after my wife and post her pictures, and then for people to allow this, I've talked to Macy, Municipal Housing. Brandon, I'm going to get you that email. I just gotta, this is not I have important things that I actually doing. Brandon, you know what I mean, Mr. McGrath, because you called me Mr. Vazquez. You don't have to, but Mr. McGrath, I have a more, this is crazy. But my wife will be sending you an email also. She's a school administrator. She's a woman, a Black woman. And it bothers me, really. For me, I keep it honest. I'm always straight up. I don't understand why, we talk about Black Lives Matter, right? And these organizations, they come out, when it's something that they may get the big spotlight, right? But what about the Black lives that maybe won't get you the media attention that that you get from maybe, if you were to be defending an elected official or somebody, like you know what I mean? Or if there's an incident that happened that's getting national news, this is a Black woman. To you Black organizations, and even Hispanic organizations, right? We're a Hispanic and Black couple who have done some amazing things. And we are, as I was told today, an inspiration to people, because I come from nothing, right? And I worked hard, I wasn't a house husband, all my life, Brian, so, and we did this together, and we didn't do anything illegal. We didn't, we did it the right way. We got married, had our kids, started our businesses, went to school, then started our business, got a job. This is what the American dream is about for all of us, for Blacks, Hispanics, and all that. And so instead of supporting us, you don't say anything while individuals try to tear us down. White individuals. And I'm talking to these organizations that, why you call yourselves this Latino and Black lives and this matters, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Because I don't see you out there. I don't. Whether it's in the community, every day doing things. I mean, what's changing? And then you got people like us that are attacked, and nobody comes to support us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's been some people, we've had some of our parents from our daycare support us publicly because they know who we are. But where are the organizations? I think by now, enough people know who I am to get some support from some of your organizations. No, that's not okay. And some of you know what's up. Some of you know about the things that they've done and where it's come from, the lies. You know it. You know it. And to stay hush hush. That's not how I roll. That's just not how I roll. And I'm talking to these people there. So whoever don't want to be on, you could log off. I'm talking to those people. Right? That's not how I roll. Because if it were you, I'd definitely be defending you. Most certainly. So you got to check yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror. Right? Who are you really? I know who I am. So, that's what I'm saying. That's y'all all with the bogus stuff. I'm out there in the community. I'm out there with the people. And all colors. It doesn't matter. But I'm talking to these groups that utilize skin color. They do the identity politics and stuff. Oh, vote for, we want to put a Black woman. But you won't come to the defense of a Black woman that's being publicly, humiliated, disrespected, that's done a lot for people in this community. Stay quiet. That's not, you know what I mean? So that's just how, I just want to say that to those people, but it's all good. Don't do nothing. It's okay. Because I'm a believer in karma, right? And I believe good always wins. Regardless of how it may look, good always wins. And as we've done for the past 25 years, my wife and I, we will come out on top. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Have a beautiful night. God bless you all. Peace.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
In another one, Mr. Rumo lied to me. And I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want some of the butter chicken. So thank you.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
No!
By the way, too, I'm not a liar. Y'all liars. Y'all are liars. Liar, liar, liar. When you wake up tomorrow morning, look in the mirror. I hope your mind voice comes in your mind saying you are a liar. Liar. And I'm talking to certain people. Yeah, you are liars.